So you purchase an RX security system, whether you've got a full system or a light and a remote or any of the individual units. I'm going to talk you through the uses for each product. So the light itself, probably the simplest way of using this is connecting it directly to your alarms. So like the remote, when you have the light turned on the remote, if you get 3 beeps in quick succession, the light will come on. The light doesn't just come on, it comes on gradually, and then it'll fade out at the end. So it's not, if you're asleep and you've got it on bright, it's not going to like suddenly startle you. It will just phase in and phase out. So whatever setting the light was previously left on, that's what it's going to come on at. So whether it was orange or white, bright or dull, as soon as you get those triggers from the alarm, that's what light's going to come on. If you've got a remote as well, and you're using the remote to control the light, if you get an aggressive liner at light, you get those 3 beeps, it lights up the light. You can either wait for 10 seconds for that light to go out, or using the number that it's controlled by on the remote, press and hold a plus or the minus button, and it will turn the light off. Once you've muted the light with the remote, the light will remain in standby mode. So should you get another bite or 3 triggers again, the light will come back on again. Again, you can wait 10 seconds or mute it with the remote. Obviously with the remote, you've got full control of the light. Turn the light on, it's in standby, and now you can use the remote control. So if you plus or minus the buttons, it will go brighter, like so, or duller, like so. And if you double tap on either the plus or the minus button, it will change from its colour. So white to orange, and back orange to white. There are many other ways that we can use the light. One of them is to floodlight and light your swim up. So you can have, instead of having it in your bivvy, or you can have an additional light and have it outside. You might want to light up your surrounding area. You might have tricky tree roots or things that you need to step over to get to your rods. So you can have the light outside of your bivvy. We can have it on the bank stick or whatever other method you could use here to attach it to a tree, a branch or anything, and it's going to light up the whole of the swim. So we can have it connected to the alarm, so when you get the bite, it triggers and the light comes on, will illuminate your swim. However, it will then go off when you get no more inputs from the alarm. You can also then have it connected to a sensor, and the sensor in your swim area. So as long as you're still moving around in your swim, the sensor's going to pick your movement up, and it's going to ensure that the light is all still in the area. Like a situation that we were in last night. Yeah, so here I've got a fish on. As long as I stay in the front of the swim, the sensor I've got here on the left is illuminating the swim and the area. So this little precarious step I've got at the front here, I can get down that because this is giving me a bit of light. So yeah, I'm staying in the front of the swim, I'm playing the fish, and if I move again, oh no, it's come off. Oh, no. Oh. So we just set a situation up, or a little scenario as such. There's a bit of a step in the front of the swim. You need to step from the rods down onto a bit that's covered in water at the moment. So we said what we'll do, we'll set it up so we can show how using the sensor in the front of the swim is ideal. So we'll create a fake bite, it'll illuminate the front of the swim, I'll walk out to the rod, I'll pick the rod up, and walking in and around the sensor will then ensure that the light stays on and I can see the step down that I've got to make. We were literally about to press go on the camera to make it happen, and I've got a bite on the right hand rod. And you've seen it's done exactly what it needed to do, but unfortunately the bad thing was it fell off. Gutted. I think I've probably lost 3 fish in the past 4 years to up pulls, and it just happened to happen on camera. Oh well, I'll give it another go. The remote works over radio waves, so you've got transmitter and receiver in here very similar to the RX Plus and the RX receiver, and these work over huge distances. A situation may be that you're fishing abroad, you're out in the boat, a couple of 100 meters out, you want to make sure you're going in the right direction to get back in. You can use the remote, turn the light on, your bivvy light will come on, or your light in your swim will come on, and then you can make your way in safely. Maybe another one is you're having a bit of a social with one of your friends, you've wound your rods in, you're having an evening barbecue, and you just want to make sure that there's nothing in your swim, or you've heard something. Again, if you've got the remote with you, you can press that and it's going to light and illuminate up your swim. So you've got a set of RX alarms and a receiver. The cheapest way of creating a security system is simply adding the sensor. So you can purchase a sensor on its own, program this into the receiver, and then position this in your swim so that it's best that someone's walking past the PIR itself. Position it in the swim on a bank stick about 1 metre to 1.5 metres off the floor. Make sure that the sensor is in security mode, and therefore when it's triggered, it's going to send a trigger to the receiver. The receiver's going to come on red and it's going to make the audible noise. So if you've got a remote that's programmed in and synced with the sensor as well, you've got some basic control functions from the remote. So I turn the sensor on, scroll through the lights, and it's showing me that it's in floodlight mode at the moment. Now, if I was to press the corresponding button on the remote for this sensor, so this is number 1, it will scroll through the lights, and now it's showing me a green light, a solid green light. That's telling me that sensor number 1 is set on floodlight mode. If I was to turn the sensor on to security mode, it will flash green. So the flashing green light indicates to me that it's on security mode. Oh, there we go. So now it's picked up this presence and it's sending a signal to the receiver. I can press and hold the S button, which will mute it again. I'm going to turn it off, otherwise it will keep going off. By turning the sensor off, you get an audible noise coming through to the receiver as well. That's like a safety, it's like a safety thing, so that it's saying that someone's turned it off. Also, at the same time, if you've got a light, it will flash the light as well, giving you a visual indication also that someone's turned it off. So the other basic function with the remote, and one that you might want to use at night, did I turn it on or off? I can't remember. If you press that button, it will scroll through the lights. If it comes back up and there's no light showing at all, that means that it's turned off or the battery's run out. So at that point, then you can get out, make sure you turn it back on again. So if you purchase the full system, light sensor and remote, we can set this up in full security mode. In this situation, I would position the sensor somewhere that I'm expecting somebody to walk through, or the only way or the only pathway that someone's going to walk and approach my swim. We set the sensor up, point it in the right direction. Then we can have the light set up in floodlight mode, and we can put this on a bank stick or whatever means or method of attaching it somewhere in the swim or the area which is going to have the most impact. So we can set it up on 1000 lumens, it acts as a floodlight, somebody passes the beam and it's going to illuminate the whole area plus shine 1000 lumens at them. They're probably going to turn around and walk away from you. To go a step further, if you're in an area or a situation where you could get people coming from different directions, if you want to purchase a second sensor, you can set that up as well, so that you're covering every angle that somebody may approach your area from. So the light itself has 12 programmable channels. You might think that's a bit excessive, however, it just allows you for every situation possible. So I could be fishing abroad with one of my friends, I've got 4 rods out, he's got 4 rods out, they're all linked into the light. We've got a boat between us, we've got it set up in floodlight, so as we approach the boat, a sensor will illuminate, send a signal to the light comes on, it means I can get my life jacket on, get everything I need to get, I can jump in the boat and go out. I can have a remote programmed in that's in the boat permanently, so that if I'm out in the boat and there's no light on at the bank, I can use that remote to turn it back on so I can see where I can come in. I could have a remote in my bivvy, my friend can have a remote in his bivvy, so that he can work the light and I can work the light independently as well. So the options are endless with the light. You can link up to 12 individual units into it. There's so many different ways it can be used. We tried to give you a grasp of a few scenarios that we've used it in, but if you can think of a different way to use it, or you'd like to know a different way of using it in your situation that suits you, drop us a comment and we'll get back to you.